What's going on, everybody? Payneblade back here again from Server 1, representing IC. Guys, happy Saturday night. Damn, it's been a long day. So today, guys, we're going to be covering M1 and M2. Now, unfortunately, I don't have gameplay for you, but I have something better, and that is a deconstruction of my team and how I use this team to defeat M1 and M2, and how you can use variations of this team to do the same thing, and different units you can cover. So the first thing I want to talk about, guys, is, of course, if you're new to this and you're first time doing Master 1 and Master Level 2, your team is not randomized like it is previous levels. You're going to actually have your team set up the way exactly how you have it, and you're going to only be fighting Hashirama and Tobirama. Now, Hashirama is the main unit to beat, of course, because he's got the most amount of health, and Tobirama is the second. But there is an attack pattern here to this, and I want to talk to you guys about how I did it. And of course, there is a power check. All right, that's the most important thing to remember, is just because you have the right team, FG is all power check. Flashback Genealogy is a pure power check. So if you don't have that power, chances are you may not be able to finish it, but you may get a high percentage. Now, a lot of people are going to ask the question, Payne, what are you using and what are you doing in terms of percentages? If I don't get 100% in S like you did here, what's the percentage I should aim for? And if I get below that percentage, is it worthwhile still pursuing M2? So a couple of things I want to talk about. So first off, your power to beat the team. So here's my team, and I'm going to talk about my team real quick and the power I used. Okay, so this is the team I used here. Now you see here 755. That is probably bare minimum. 750 I'd say is probably bare minimum. 745 you might get away with it if you get a couple lucky crits, but this was pretty much a perfect run. And here's how I set it up. Okay, so I'm going to explain to you guys step by step why the setup. Okay, so beginning, you have KCM. So KCM's initial role is simply to give you crit buff and DIR buff. Okay, so he's there to buff your units. He's not going to even attack. So that right away is a problem, but that's okay. You make up for it with the buffs that he provides, right? Now, when you get Six Tails, you see he's 101. I should have probably pushed him to 102. Would have made it easier. But at 101, his job is simply to get a skill 2 up. He gets a crit rate up when he does that. So when his turn comes around, on 4th turn, he does his AoE damage, and his crit's almost 100% because you get data right down here to provide you additional crit rate, right? So that is essentially his role, is to do as much damage as possible to both units. Now, AoE is very important in this one, okay? Kakashi, of course, instant jutsu. You want him up here for a reason, because he does instant jutsu right away, and then when you have him high enough level with Sai cannot die, or Kakashi has to get hit and be above 50% HP to do more damage, he'll do his second jutsu second time around, okay? So that's what's important about Kakashi. He's there to just destroy things, right? So you want to make sure you have him there so he can jutsu twice. Now, the Spirit team is up to you how you want to set this up. You don't have to have Rene there, because a lot of people won't have him there. You can have a single target damage dealer, but the more AoE you have, the better. So another good option there would be anybody with a 5k AoE, or anybody who's a single target AoE. So a lot of people end up using someone like OG Itachi, who also does great damage. Now, if you end up using anybody but Rene, you want to put Obito first. Obito first does damage reduction rate down on the opponent with a heavy amount. The reason why I have him second is I want the damage rate reduction from Rene, who does less damage, but he does do the confuse. The 100% confuse is fantastic, guys, because it provides Deidara the ability to do defense down on both units, giving you a little bit more push on the output of damage, right? So another one you can put in there is Yuar Saruda for that specific thing. She also buffs everybody, but her damage unfortunately won't be there as much, so I suggest using a single target unit who does a lot more damage. Like I mentioned, OG Itachi is one of those units, or anyone else you can think of that you just got. Another really good unit here, guys, not specifically in this slot, but in the 3rd slot, would be the new Tobirama. He's incredible for that damage that he can put out for the 4th squad. So Obito, of course, as I mentioned, pure nuke. He's there to do fire as well too. Now this line here, sorry, I should have mentioned, the 4th line you want to hit Tobirama. Okay, so Tobirama is your first target. 2nd line here, you're going to hit Hashirama. 3rd line is Hashirama. 4th line is Hashirama. Last line is Tobirama. So it's Tobi, Hashi, Tobi. Okay? So, sorry, back to this. Heavy, of course, is there for pure damage. Pure damage and stun. So ideally here, guys, you want to get a stun off on Hashirama so he doesn't pull off his jutsu, obviously. If you do that, that's better for you. You'll actually end up surviving. Now, the energy cell is your buff cell. Deidara OG is always going to be here. He's pretty much guaranteed MVP of this for crit damage, so he'll be there for the crit damage buff. So he provides it to you across the board, by the way. As long as he's in the team, everybody gets it, right? So that's very important. Sai, of course, there is going to be for the MVP portion of chakra giving. He makes everybody do nukes at 5k plus. And then CM2 is there for me personally as a stunner and a damage dealer plus. If you're faster than your opponent, he gives you an extra bonus to attack. You can have Sasuke, Kid Sasuke there instead as well too as an option, or any other damage dealer like Naruto SR. RoKage SS, sorry, I should have mentioned. Haku is a great other choice too, because Haku does defense down on T units and DRR down on T units, so those are very good options to replace CM2 as well too. But you definitely want a stunner in there to give you a hand, so that's why he's a great choice, because he has the highest stun percentages out of anybody in this game. So as long as he gets going, that doesn't apply here obviously, because he needs to do jutsu more than once. But I still enjoy using him because he's one of my more powerful stunners, even over Kid Sasuke. Okay. So those are some of the options you can do. Back to force again. So at that point, KCM will do his Jitsu on Hashirama. We'll give everybody the additional CDIR buffs and all these other extra bonus buffs that you get. And then Six Tails will end up doing the AoE, of course, and then Kakashi will also do his Jitsu. Ideally, again, you don't actually want to stun here. You actually want to get hit. So if somebody dies, the bonus of that is Obito and Hebi all get an attack buff, right, for anybody who dies. So that'd be a really good thing. If somebody actually does end up dying on your team, that's actually a bonus, don't fret. Now, here's the thing. The next turn, Hashirama might have a little bit of health left. The next turn, you want to target Tobirama. Rinne will actually finish the job on Hashirama, and then Obito and Hebi will complete killing off Tobirama for you. So that should end up finishing it. So, to recap here, guys, real quick. So, force, you attack Tobirama. Then it's Hashirama, Hashirama, Hashirama again, and then Tobirama. Okay, so your AoE damage dealers are going to finish the job for you. Now, another good option, if you don't have OG Datara and you have this unit instead, as I mentioned, is Tobirama. If you pulled him and you built him, put him in place there, or Mei. Mei is incredible because she does provide you the CDIR buff as well too. So that's the team I used, guys, to finish it off. Co-op is the way to go here. Tribes, there aren't any good tribes out there to finish this job, so you definitely want to stick with co-op. So as you can see here, there's now a different alignment here of FG. This is the first time we finished an FG with an A unit in there, because it wasn't the main unit this time around, right? So making it a little easier. But yeah, guys, stay away from tribes in this case. Focus on using co-op if you have the units, but the power level for M2 is probably about 750, maybe 745 if you're lucky. Alright guys, I hope this video helped you out. This is Payne. Have a wonderful Saturday, guys. Doing more videos and talking about what you can use Golden Week's coins for. That'll be coming very soon. Have a good one, everyone.